Good evening, or should I say, good night. Here we're trying some new content styles. So welcome to Fall Asleep while we explore Tartarus. And what is Tartarus, you might ask? Tartarus is a new roguelike free-to-play mode for the very popular gacha game Persona 5 The Phantom X, which is a spin-off series from the mainline title of Persona 5. Very popular. It's been just under a year since its global launch, and the CN and KR servers have had this for a little while, but have remained pretty spoiler free. It's a lot of fun, but it does sink in a lot of time, but that gives us a lot of content to be able to help you fall asleep to. So relax, enjoy these royalty free ambient tracks, and hopefully the low bassy voice of mine will help you lull off to sleep. So as you see, we run through progressively challenging floors of a tower, and it's replayable. Originally it was said to have 18 floors, but today I did find myself on floor 19. You start from scratch with a base template of players, and every time you win a battle, you enter shuffle time, where you have the chance to have permanent increases to your stats, new characters, ascensions of those characters, or currency from which you can attach more, shall we say, passive abilities or stats. I find this quite a challenging mode. It does have its favoured characters. You'll see me pick Minami quite a lot. She's a healer, one of the best healers in the game, and one of the best healers for this kind of run. You start off at awareness 0, and you can go all the way to awareness 6, which unlocks further skills and parts of their kit that will make them more effective in battle. Depending on what we fight, when the bosses appear on different floors, we'll change our team accordingly. Right now, we have Wonder, the mainline protagonist of this game, and he's going to run around, assassinate a lot of enemies, and we're going to be very quickly picking cards and moving on normally. A lot of the time, I just focus on building my characters, or anything that will give me permanent attack. The aim of this is to break objects, find currency, open chests, and progressively move up the floors. We have a currency of energy or stamina, you could call it, called Will, and Will can be used for many different things, from fights to opening gates and progressing further in the tower. This is a collaboration crossover from the Persona 3 franchise, which I'm not very familiar with, but I have found myself liking the characters and the art style and the idea of this dark tower. There you just seem we found what we call a lost person, and that's from the Persona 3 franchises. They tend to find lost people and help them escape the dark tower. So again, here we are just picking some cards, looking them over just to be sure, but going with the character. It's good to have a good spread of different affinities, such as fire, nuclear, bless, lightning, wind, etc. So I'm just sometimes checking the map before I move on, because once you progress, you can't go back. And every so often, you'll find a clock, a small one which will grant you more will and allow you to fight further, because each attack or each enemy that you attack will cost will, bosses included. And sometimes we will use the currency instead to upgrade the awakening of our characters. So here you see I'm just looking them over, but I'm probably going to most of the time go with what helps the overall damage of the team. That one was for physical and guns, which is handy when you run out of SP, which is what you would use like mana for your persona attacks. Your characters will automatically just attack or shoot an enemy instead. So it's just sometimes better to get a little bit of that increased, in case you find yourself high and dry mid-boss battle. There we go, getting more dawn fragments. Those are which we use to regain will or increase a character's awakening as we progress the floors. I hope you've all had a good day. I hope you're having a much more cosy, calming and relaxing night. And I hope these videos can help you fall to sleep a lot easier than normal. As you see, here's one of the clocks. It'll sometimes give you 40 will just to start. It's quite handy. A lot of the time I end up spending an extra set of dawn fragments and just buffing that by about 80. Give myself a bit of comfort for just running around, attacking things and gaining cards to increase the team's strength after. So we have a boss here. It's a pretty standard boss from what I've found. And a lot of people would maybe do this turn-based attacks and pick their skills carefully, but I am one of those Oonga Boonga players that just lets the game play automatically. I really like as you saw there, that's Makoto Yuki, and he's one of the Persona 3 collaboration. So we don't normally get Persona 3 or 4 characters, but we have a limited time banner, and as part of this event we're able to enlist him in our team, and his team is the Seas, whereas we are the Phantom Thieves. And they use a very unique way of summoning their personas. They use the gun to their own head, which is a bit dark in some respects, but Persona is kind of a dark series. Here we have Minami, not only a healer, but can also deal bless damage. Very strong unit throughout the game. And she will keep us clutch as we climb the towers. That's a pretty bitchin' critical there. And we've leveled up to level 3. Got some soul fragments and we've got some memory fragments as part of a side story. We're able to unlock get to know you kind of sessions with that Persona 3 protagonist, Makoto. So this time I picked Seiji. It's not the best unit overall, but I do know that sometimes we get wind weak bosses, so it's good to have a little bit of variety in our affinities, so that we're not stuck struggling throughout the boss battles. Realising I hadn't changed my personas in a while, I feel that I'm just going to switch it up. The weapon that I use gives a boost to all affinities of the first persona equipped. So I'm just having a quick look over and deciding that we'll go with fire and wind. But make our first persona nuclear so that Makoto, aka Queen, gets a real good buff because she's a real strong unit throughout the game and in Tartarus. There we go, into the next floor we go. Floor 5. And although I narrate these at a later date, I won't spoil how we get on. This will be a running series, given its replayability. We'll also have some Neverness to Everness videos also. I do Pink Paw heist, bank heist runs, and although there's alarms, the audio will be muted, some relaxing songs, and you can fall asleep watching me run around, gathering things in that game as well. I do have quite a proclivity for gacha games. So a lot of the time you can just sprint past enemies, and what I like to do is just dart through, attack the things that I can attack for currencies, catch any little chests, and just map out where we are at. And sometimes double back or open doors if I've got enough will to accommodate it. So we go there for Shun. He's a nice character. Again, just trying to work out a little bit of different affinities just in case we have a boss that comes up and might be weak to ice, for instance. He's also a really good character in which he can increase the party's maximum health, and he can also provide shielding, which can be really handy in some fights. In game, he's quite a brash young man, but once you befriend him, you get to see his sensitive side, and he works in a ramen shop and is very passionate. There we go again. We got awareness up on Makoto, so hopefully he'll be doing some more damage for us in the battles to come. Just checking the map over, making sure we've not missed any little areas in case there's some chests. You might see me backtrack sometimes just because of that. I like to cover all bases, make sure it's fully explored. These little creatures give you special cards sometimes. And then we're going to go with our nuclear, psychic and blessed damage increase there, because that'll help with both Minami and Makoto or Queen. I think we're going to go with crit rate. Yeah, go with crit rate. And we're just polishing up some enemies here, getting ourselves built up a little before our bosses. Now, and considering crit rate there, but instead what I went for was when you get healed, if you're healed past your maximum health, any overspill will be dealt as damage at a rate of 200% to the enemies. Meaning, if Minami's doing our job and healing us, we'll also be doing damage for that, so it's not a waste of turn. There we go, just picking off some enemies, getting more cards. And those are two great choices at the end there, but I think we go for more damage. Yep, more damage to Psychokinesis, Nuclear and Bless. Just building that up. 12% at a time, stacking, does add up after a little while. Seem to be a bit of deliberating here, and we end up going with that. That'll give us a little bit more effectiveness when we're at full health, but also protect us when we're at low health. So I see that we're about to leave the floor there, and I decide to run back and work out some more cards or awarenesses for characters. That is one of the greater clocks, and that'll give different kind of buffs than the smaller clock. Smaller clock will build your awarenesses, or give you more will. That bigger clock will give you either characters, awarenesses, or stat cards that you can choose from. There we go, we're going to get more Dawn Fragments. They're very handy, very sparse throughout the game. We need usually at least 2 to be able to get 40 will, and as we're running low on will, that's the no-brainer choice there. Just checking off the map, seems that we've got everything done. And maybe not, in fact. There we go, got a little chest and some breakables before we can carry on up a further floor of the tower. I'll run back there for a lost person, which turns out to be a cat. And it's got some clock gears for us. Majority of the time they're positive effects, but sometimes it's not always in the best interest to rescue someone. I've yet to find someone that I've left behind. Feeling a little lost there, just double checking I'm going the right way. And then we'll double check what the clock's got on offer. So it's got another awakening, a permanent increase in stats for one of our main team players, Koto Yuki. And we're just looking over the extra cards. We've got plenty of shards, but he'll do for now. I'm double checking the boss, and we'll double check the team, and we'll comp as needed. So it's going to be Fire and Bless, so we'll switch out Modaha. And instead of Lufil, we're switching Kurotani, my mistake. And we'll make sure that our fire persona is first, so that we get that fire buff for our characters. A cheeky clock here, get some extra will back, and we'll also spend a couple of dawn fragments to get more will back. We're back up in the hundreds. There we go, we're getting all out attack, hopefully. Because we've knocked them dizzy. It's usually a really cool animation where you see them ping pong and all over them. Some real nice damage there from our awakened character. Making quick work of that, we're getting all out attack, wiping out the henchmen. Shouldn't take us long now to finish the boss off. There we are, practically on death's door. Finish off with a highlight attack, or an ultimate attack as you might well know it as. And one last all-out attack. Oh, that's really close, look at that. I forget to get extra boss bars. No matter, dealt with that no problems. Easy Ozzy, on to the next floor. Just taking my time to read over these cards, they're a little bit more important. And we go for the middle one, as that doesn't seem to debuff us as much as the other two. Options to pick new characters, or increase the awakening that we already have. But I believe I go for Wind, which is one of our operators, as we don't have her yet. There we go. This is a bit of a better fit, and no brainer, extra dawn fragment for that extra will when we need it. Get rid of Kanu and get Rico, aka Wind, and switch back Queen. And just realigning our personas to have Bishimoten, which is a nuclear one, so that Queen gets the boost in attack from our weapons passive. A couple of gold chests, as you do get after a boss battle. some of these coins we can use after the mode's finished and unlock new antiques, which give us permanent buffs for when we go into these Tartarus towers. On to the next floor. Floor 8, here we go. Now hopefully you're all sleeping by this point, but if not, I want you to pause the video and let me know what you're doing right now. Whether that be lying in bed, taking it easy, maybe travelling, or just in some downtime. I'm really curious to know what people are doing when they watch these videos. Also, if you have any suggestions for content that would be fun to watch as you drift off but not too engaging, feel free to let me know. Another kitty cat found. And sometimes we just choose to avoid the enemies because we want to keep our will above a certain level, as there'll be some walls or areas that we need to gain access to, or fight an enemy to gain access to. As you'll see, the red walls usually mean they lead to the exit of that floor, and we have to fight an enemy to unlock them. So it's always best to keep some will in the pocket. Just having a quick little nosy. As you see, sometimes I do miss some things, so I like a quick run around, just double check things. Seems that we've still got one little area in the bottom right, so I believe we're going to go check that out. Finding these fragments and clock gears in the way. Nothing of import, but it's always good to check. And there we go for more crit damage. Can't go wrong with that. And on we go up another floor. Floor 9. Seems that we're being chased. It's a very rare thing. Usually you're able to speed past them pretty quickly. Just wanting to get that lost person / kitty cat. And it's given us a dawn fragment. Sometimes the buffs these cards offer are only for the next couple of battles, so I tend to choose permanent things in favour of that. Check the clock, we get some more will. It's always good. And I believe we'll use some more dawn fragments. Twice. And we'll end up with a good 169. Meme numbers for going into the boss. Unfortunately this time, I didn't check what affinities the boss had. So I believe that I pause and just double check that I've not screwed myself over. Seeing what little damage these attacks are actually doing. You can see it takes a little while to get through some of these boss encounters. Not to worry though. Gives me plenty of time to go get a cigarette or a drink or something. Minami coming in clutch there, giving us a chance to do an all-out attack. Slowly but surely, working that health down. If we can get one done, the other one will be much easier to whittle off. Some real nice critical attacks coming in. I just love Queen's motorbike riding persona. So badass. Very nice critical from Minami there. Setting us up for you. Once again, another all-out attack. One down, one to go. And there we go, Queen for the win. Another boss down. It's more memory fragments. Lovely jubbly. And we get some extra special cards. Oh, and a bonus character to pick from. It's a bit of a toss up between Minami and Queen there, but I believe the heals are more important, so we'll go with Minami. She gets a new awakening. And we pick up some new attack buffs also. Some crit, and some, if you have a matching affinity at the start of battle, gain X. We don't have enough, unfortunately, for any more will, but we're sitting at a nice 154, so we're comfortable enough. I think I do a double check, because normally you get chests. No wonder why I don't see an opening for chests. These levels are all randomised every time you run through, which gives it a lot of replayability. There we go, nice golden chest. Pardon me. So onwards and upwards we go. Floor 11. It's going to get spicy soon. I wonder if any of you fell asleep yet. I may consider narrating books as we have some gameplay in the background in future, so I'm going to try that with a few videos, as unfortunately there's only so much you can talk about, and I fear that I might be wasting time just prattling and gibbering away. But if it helps you sleep, albeit. There we go, more clock gears at the start of each floor, I believe that was. Very handy. Just going to run through, take out a few shadows, get a few extra buffs, and then we're going to get some awareness there for Seiji, just so if we do need them for any attacks with wind elements, it's going to be a little bit more punchy for it. Highlight damage up by 12%, that's their special moves. Always a good thing. And some more physical, some more nuclear, bless, and psych damage. Always handy to have an increase. All adds up. Faster fill-up gauge for Makoto Sturgeon, which is his own version of a highlight attack. And we'll take a new character by the looks of it, though we are torn between that and get more damage overall for fire attacks. But it's always good to have a couple of extra characters, just in case you need them for a team comp. When we go up to a new floor, floor 12. Floor 13, there should be a boss, so it's best to just get as many of these little buff cards that we can. See, this one requires you to pay clock gears, but you do get dawn fragments. So I decided to get 2, so that we can get more will when we need it, or upgrade the character's awakening. Always handy. We're just continuing on here, picking up what we can before the next boss. Some of these gold fogs you pay well to get rid of, but it also usually has either some lost people or some extra chests or rare items or boss mechanics that you can encounter. So we just run through, checking off what we get, and maybe take the odd one out just for an extra card here and there. Just checking out the placement. Some of these get a little maze-like and you get lost pretty easy if you're just running around like I do, hitting things willy-nilly. There we go, yeah. Getting our buff for filling the highlight gauge. And we've got just enough for a awakening. So I believe we're going to take that, because it's always best to have our characters leveled up in their kits and skills. It's one of the first priorities as you're trying to claim the towers. On we go to floor 13, boss time. Right enough, wind affinity, weak to wind. So getting Seiji earlier and getting some awareness on him is probably quite helpful for us in this battle. Switch our Mikoto and get Seiji in there. Make sure to set wind as our first persona so that Seiji's getting as much of a damage buff as he can from our passive weapon skill. Sorry about that, phone slipped off the case that I'm holding it on. And the cheeky clock just before we get that done. Having a little look over the characters here. And we decide to max Seiji out just as well before we go into this boss. So just get full awareness 6, so just get his full kit unlocked, which will do a lot of wonder for us when we're in these kind of boss battles. So we'll just let this battle roll out a little and we'll see how we get on. Thank you for everyone that has been watching this, and I hope it has helped you get to sleep.
せんよ。
見えてるよ。かき回して強め。
ありがとう。
倒れさせない
助かりました。
癒しの力よ。
僕に力を。受けてみた。反撃です。ペルソナデュオ。
かき回して強め。ペルソナデュ
敵を貫く。入れよ、僕の分身。受けてみた。反撃です。ペルソナデュオ。敵を焼き尽くす。ペルス。当たりませんよ。見える。当たりませんよ。
残念ですね。
当たりませんよ。
戦術シーン発動。
ありがとう。
倒れさせない
助かりました。
癒しの力よ。
いただいていく。反撃です。ペルソナデュオ。
戦術シーン発動。
最後まで諦めません。
これでどうだ。
みんなを助けたいの。タレイヤ、お願い。
反撃です。ペルソナデュオ。オルフェウス。当たりませんよ。
残念ですね。
大丈夫だから。大丈夫だから。かき回して強め。
ありがとう。
ペルソナデュ
助かりました。入れよ、僕の分身。
大丈夫だから。
反撃です。ペルソナデュオ。
戦術シーン発動。
入れよ、僕の分身。信念を持って敵を貫く。これで決めよう。焼き尽くす。これなら。この当たりませんよ。 撃ですペルソナデュオいでよ僕の分身
かき回して血をね
おやすみオルフェウス。
私が倒れるわ
反撃ですペルソナデュオいでよ僕の分身反撃ですペルソナデュオまだ倒れるわけには
私の出番ね
これなら
So unfortunately, I think we've lost this one. But there's plenty of times that we can rerun, replay, and hopefully have a better time taking on the challenge of Tartarus. I just want to thank you all for anyone that has been watching, listening, or falling asleep. And hopefully some of my other content in the future will be similar to this. We'll continue some of these Fall Asleep While I series. They were just redeeming some missions that we've done. And it'll just be a little bit of collecting before we finish off for tonight. Thank you all. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope to see you soon. And I hope you all get a good night's sleep. Peace.